Hey you guys, so today I am going to be talking about some books that I read recently and that I've loved, and I felt the need to pass on the greatness of these books to you guys because I think everyone should read them, that they're really great. Without further ado, let's get started. So the first book that I have is the Alexander Hamilton biography that the musical was inspired by. Lin-Manuel Miranda read this book and was like, there has to be a musical about it, and there wasn't, and thus Hamilton was born, and we've all been blessed since. I haven't finished this book yet, as you can see. I'm a good portion of the way through. I'm like halfway through it, but it is a long book. It's like 800 pages. It's all I have Hamilton references because I'm a nerd. I feel like if they would have taught us this stuff in history class, more people would pay attention because it's actually really interesting. And I mean, in letters, Alexander Hamilton and John Lawrence literally made dick jokes to each other. A lot of the stuff that happened to him and stuff is just kind of like, it's insane that this stuff kind of happened to a person. Like, he literally wrote his way out of poverty and stuff. Like, it's just really interesting. At some point you just want to like yell at him because he's trying to fight everyone. He fights himself in the form of the Reynolds pamphlet, which is when he like cheats on his wife and publishes it to kind of clear his name of speculation. It's called Speculation. They thought he was like stealing money and stuff, and he clears his name of that in public. It's really interesting. This might not be everyone's cup of tea. I know some people see history and they're like, nope, can't get into it, but I'm a history nerd, so this is one of my good ones. The next book that I have is Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari, and oh my gosh, I love this book. I have recommended this book to like 5 different people, and honestly, I would recommend it to anyone, to single people, to married people, if you're my age, if you're older, anyone. It kind of just is a very cool sociological view of how technology and different kind of factors and like globalization, all this stuff has kind of affected dating in the modern world for people of my generation, the different effects it's had, and it's just really interesting. He consulted with a lot of sociologists on this book, and so it's just very well written, it's funny, it's great. I love this book. Again, I'm a nerd for sociology too, so this was a really cool book for me. So keeping with the theme of memoirs and nonfiction books, my next book is You Deserve a Drink by Mamrie Hart here on YouTube. She is one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. She is hilarious. I think her writing is just the best. And it takes a lot for a book to make me laugh out loud while I'm reading it. Like, I'll be like, oh, that's funny, but just like deadpan in the face. But Mamrie Hart's book made me laugh out loud so many times, I lost count. So if you want a really funny kind of book, just like a lighthearted thing that will make you like cry from laughing, You Deserve a Drink by Mamrie Hart. Kind of want to break away from the nonfiction for a minute. So this isn't a new book. This has been around for a while, and I feel like everyone was made to read this in high school except for me. Like, literally every person has read this book except for me. I was in a bookstore with my best friend Jess on my birthday, and we were perusing the kind of classics, because those are kind of, both of us kind of tend to go towards those kind of books. And I was looking at the different books, and I picked up To Kill a Mockingbird, and I commented, I was like, oh, you know, I've never read this book. And she looked very appalled at me, and she was like, you are buying this book, you are reading it, your life is going to be changed after you read this book. And so I was like, okay, I'm always down to read a book. I hear really good things about it, and so why not read it? And it did not disappoint. I love this book. I love the way it is written. I love the childlike qualities of it when dealing with such a serious topic that should be treated seriously, but the childlike kind of approach to it, because the main character is a little girl and dealing with this and not really realizing why people are treating people like this, and kind of at the end realizing her own kind of judgment that she didn't even mean. I don't know, it's amazing book, and Atticus Finch is like the greatest literary dad that I've read about, I think. I don't know, I can't really recall a dad that was like as present in literature and as respectful to his kids as Atticus Finch was, that's a great sound, as Atticus Finch was to his kids in To Kill a Mockingbird. So if for some reason you were like me and weren't made to read it in class, I really recommend reading it. This next book is called Dream Factory. This book, I read it when I was in high school, I think. Middle school or high school. It was an old favorite of mine, and I kind of went back and reread it, and I forgot how much I love this book. It's just kind of a fun, lighthearted, kind of a teen romance kind of novel. And this was like my jam back in the day because it was teen romance at Disney World where they all played like characters, like they were face characters in Disney World. And so this was like my dream come true, and it's just a really cute book. I like this book. Oh, and I forgot the best part. Okay, the best part of this book is this is a minor spoiler because he like the main character's name is Luke, and he does not like talking about his middle name. His middle name is Skywalker, and if that ain't me to name my child Luke Skywalker, I don't know what is. The next book that I read is called Sick in the Head by Judd Apatow. I'm just gonna call him good old Judd. Good old Judd that wrote Knocked Up and a bunch of other movies, a bunch of great movies. Good job, Judd. But I don't know how you pronounce your name because I am horrible at the English language. He goes around and interviews a bunch of comedians about like what they do comedy. I feel like this book kind of like resonated with me mainly because I too am a comedy nerd, and so that's why he went around interviewing all these people, because he wants to know how they operate, you know, how their mind kind of works, how they come up with these things and stuff. And that's kind of where I am with comedy, is when people are really funny and do comedy just so well. I just want to pick their brain and just be like, how do you do this? How are you the way you are? Please just dispel all your wisdom onto me. That's basically what this book is. It's really great. I love this book. 10 out of 10 would recommend. This next book might be my favorite. I don't want to say any of these are like my like #1 favorite because that changes all the time, but this one might be my favorite. So I was very into kind of like a punk music and stuff and Riot Grrrl and all those kind of things. So this book kind of was my jam. I say was my jam a lot. Hunger Makes Me a Modern Girl by Carrie Brownstein. I'm not great with names. I'm so sorry. So Carrie was in the band Sleater-Kinney, and this is kind of like her journey of how she was like a punk rock kid and all these like different things, touring and stuff, and just kind of like a behind the scenes look. And the way she wrote it is mainly what sold it for me. I am just in awe when someone is so good at writing and they just can make their words just flow together, and it just like when you're reading it, you know, it just sounds so beautiful. When someone writes like that, I am immediately in love with the book. So I love her. I love the concept of the book and want to know more. And then it was written like that, so this is just the trifecta of books for me. So I cannot speak highly enough of Hunger Makes Me a Modern Girl. Go buy it, go rent it, go borrow it from the library. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but at least in California, there's a digital library thing. If you have a library card and your local library can buy copies of digital books so you can read them on like the Kindle app and stuff. I'll leave a link down below because that has honestly changed my life. I've read so many more books because of this. It is just a great resource, especially if you don't have a lot of money like me to go and spend on copious amounts of books. Next book is actually 2 books because I feel like you should read them both if you read one of them, because they're both equally Hilarious, Why Not Me, and Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me by Mindy Kaling are some of my favorite books. She is one of my favorite people on earth. If you're really interested in comedy, or if you're interested in feminism, or any of those things, read these books. These are like my go-to kind of like pick-me-up kind of books because they make me laugh, they make me happy. This is gonna sound lame, but it's like you're like a friend is talking to you. That sounds so lame. I promise I have friends, and books are not my only friends. My last book is one I was semi-reluctant while reading. At first, I did not like this book. I will admit, I was getting really annoyed with it. It took me forever to get through half of it and stuff because I didn't like the main character. Main character Rachel was just really annoying to me, and I couldn't just like get behind it. And so there's nothing that was kind of drawing me to read more. Then I got to the middle and shit got real, and I could not stop reading it, and I could not put this book down. They're making a movie out of this book with Emily Blunt. It's coming out. Editing Lauren, put in the date, like right here. So the movie's coming out, and if you're like me and you like to read the book before you see the movie, and you're an annoying person like me, definitely check this out. It might be a little slow at first, but once you get to the part, clear out your day because you're not gonna put this book down. Alright, so that is it for this video. As always, you can follow me on all my social media things down below and stuff. You can click the subscribe button if you want to see more from me. I make videos on Wednesdays. Bye!